optimism. How optimistic are we about optimism right now in this market? I've been hearing a lot of things about optimism. People have been talking about it on ATB. People have been, all over the ecosystem is exploding. There's altcoins being created on Optimism's network in general, and all these things. I think Coinbase is working with Optimism as well. They're launching their base. They're launching their base coin or something like that, token on Optimism. So, how optimistic are we about this?
All right. Well, anything's better than Matic. From my limited experience. So if this is a Matic replacement, thank God. Right now, Optimism is a market leader, right? This was up. This was moving way before everybody else. And obviously the move here has been big. A lot of the code guys like this. Now you have negative divergence here. Like if you want to talk about divergence, right? I think Frankie calls it neg div, right? Little shout out to Frankie, right? When you start making new highs like this and these momentum indicators like a 13-day RSI make clear lower highs, okay, this can result in Optimism getting smacked. Now, I've been talking about whatever correction is going to happen in March as like a flash event, whereas like something happens, the Fed says something, or you have Fed Gensler war on the same day, and you have kind of an event where everything sort of flashes down 15% and then maybe comes back the next day. Frequently, when you have these divergences, that's what you can get. Now, that said, hey, if Optimism's a market leader and Optimism is everything that they're saying it is, which we hope so, then Optimism will defy the divergence, right? If a market can diverge like this and then eventually sort itself out and keep going higher, wow. And that's then it's the real deal, right? But I'm not particularly in a mood going into March, right, with Gary and Jerome and everyone who wants to take their shot at risk assets stepping up to the plate. I'm not giving people investment advice, but I am telling you that if you made money, it's okay to pay yourself, right? You don't have to get off the train. Profits. It is. It's okay to take some money, because you don't want to get caught in this, right? I mean, if what happened to Matic, jokes aside, if what happened to Matic, okay, if this happens to Optimism, that's a fairly substantial drop, right? Like Matic erased all gains from the middle of the month. Optimism in mid-February was down at $2. That's 80 cents away. So look, I'm not trying to say anything negative about crypto. I'm actually super positive crypto. What I want the audience to pay themselves and have capital ready in case of a bigger correction.
Yeah, dude, my thoughts about Optimism, and I want to actually ask you about your thoughts about Matic versus Optimism, but my thoughts overall with Optimism is they are a competitor to Matic, right? Matic has had no real competitor on the Ethereum layer 2 solution game that's been noticeable for a while. And I think competition is healthy. It pushes you to innovate faster and better. But what I don't like, right, is then they get into a rat race about who's cheaper and who's faster. And that doesn't really bring too much value in the long term, because there's always somebody that's going to come out that's going to be cheaper, faster, because that's what technology goes, right? Technology always gets cheaper and faster, right? When cell phones were created, they were big, blocky, they were terrible, they were a lot more expensive. They got cheaper, they got faster, right? They got better with time, and that's how technology evolves. So the cheaper, faster route, I think there needs to be something more besides just cheaper and faster to compete between Matic and Optimism. I do like that Coinbase is building on Optimism. There's already a bunch of corporations coming out and building on Matic. So I like the competition. I think that's healthy for the space and healthy for innovation overall. I just hope it goes beyond the cheaper and faster route. on the
Point.
technology. Back to the Optimism Matic. I know a few people have been dropping some altcoins into the chat. Guys, make sure you start dropping some more alts before we get in there. Last thing I wanted to say was how do you feel about the top 10 coins right now? Do you think these top 10 coins, we're going to see a massive shift in the next bull run when it comes to the top 10? Are you feeling like the top 10 that we're seeing right now are pretty solid for the foreseeable future?
Okay, well, that's a great question. People always have recency bias, right? In other words, everybody thinks that whatever is going on now is what's going to be going on in like 2025. I mean, in 2018 or 2019, if you had said a year from now, there'll be a global pandemic and the Fed will have to print $6 trillion in 1 month, people would have, like, you wouldn't have had any friends. Now, when you look at what's in the top 20, right, I think there's going to be a winner take all thing happen there. You're going to decide whether it's going to be like Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Avalanche. Like, one of those players is going to shoot way up to the top. Now, this, of course, assumes that Gary Gensler doesn't get his way. If Ethereum is a security, you're definitely going to have a new top 10. The race will be who can release a product that's similar to what's out there now, that's actually a registered security.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, I'm going to launch the next, XYZ coin, except it'll be a registered security, futures contract, whatever. So that could reorder things.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing that could reorder the top 10, I hate to say it, but things like central bank digital currencies, or if ever there was a need to have transaction currencies like, I don't know, Litecoin, Dash, or anything that anybody invents, even possibly AI coins. A lot of people, the AI token or whatever you're going to spend money with in, say, Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, that coin may have not been invented yet, right? Metaverse money is what I call it.
Metaverse money.
Right?
It's true.
Metaverse money hasn't been invented yet.